Arti, Abhishek, we are amazing drama, and our function cannot end unless we glorify the Lord Nityananda. So we have His Grace Advait Pran Prabhu, who is graciously agreed to give class today. He is an amazing speaker. He is the one who is eternal Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Prabhuji has given talks in the past as well. We don't introduction. He's manager of the business strategy. He's in the process for about 30 years, 25 years. So he's Kirtanier, he's singer, he's pujari, he's preacher. He does amazing deity services. He wears multiple hats. Right? So without further delay, let's welcome His Grace Advait Pran Prabhu on Vyasasana and 3 times loudly chanting Haribo! 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 Prabhu ki jai. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Tirupate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurani Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranami Haripriye Mansha Krishna Krishna Nityananda Radha Mansari Gauri Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langete Girim Mahamandi Shri Brahmanataram Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyam Vishwaram Nityananda Vallabhendra Vasudha Prana Vallabha Jana Vijivitapati Krishna Prema Prada Prabhu Padmavati Sutta Shriman Sachinandana Purvaja Bhavamata Jagat Rakta Gaura Kaledram Panchatattvatmakam Krishna Bhakti Rupa Surupakam Bhaktyavatara Bhaktyavatara Namami Bhakti Shaktam Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki Nityananda Trayodashi Mahamahotsav ki Shri Radha Gopajana Vallabha Nitai Pratpam Gaudhari ki jai Prabhupada ki jai Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Nityananda Ram. So I've been ordered by the devotees to speak a few words on the glories of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Again, I have no qualification or realization, but just to fulfill the instructions of the devotees for my own purification of my heart, being so fallen, I'll speak a few words for the pleasure of the deities and the devotees. I was thinking what to speak today, especially because wonderful devotees, Yugal Kishore Prabhu has covered the entire philosophy, Siddhanta of Nityananda Prabhu and the life history of Nityananda Prabhu on this beautiful Sunday feast talk. We had a very nice class this morning by Vrindanath Prabhu as well. So I'll just try to touch one or two pastimes and go a little deep into those pastimes, especially around the Kirtan pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, and also maybe a few sentences on Guru Tattva and how important it is to take advantage of and avail of the mercy that is available on this very special day so we can make progress in our spiritual journeys. So, what is the time? It's Prashadam is at 8:45, the flyer says. So, yes. So, yes, if there is Prashadam served in the next 10-15 minutes, please feel free to honor Prashadam by the class. Hare Krishna. So, I was just given this drama part to play the role of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and I'm still trying to come out of that role. And I was just thinking, if it was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who had to glorify Nityananda Prabhu, He would glorify Nityananda Prabhu with millions of mouths. And it is said that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would test his very dear devotees and make sure that they have the required faith in the holy names and the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda Prabhu, only through the gateway of which one can get the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and attain Shri Radha Krishna Prem. So once Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would speak to Srivas Pandit, and he would ask Srivas, "Hey Srivas, why are you keeping such an esoteric avaduta in your house? Do you even know what his caste is? This Nityananda Prabhu, what family does he belong to? Your reputation will be ruined." And Srivas would smile and tell, "My dear Lord, I know you only want to test me. Nityananda Prabhu is an extension of your own body. He is the embodiment of the storehouse of love of Godhead. And whatever he does, even if it sounds esoteric or even if it seems very debatable, it does not matter. My influencing faith in the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu can be unwavered." And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would smile and embrace him to his chest and just tell him that, "Oh, dear Srivas, this is what I wanted to hear from you. That even if Lakshmi Devi is begging for alms on the street, you and your family will eternally be prosperous materially and spiritually. Even the dogs and the cats in your house will get love of Godhead." So this is an example how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted the devotees to have firm faith in Lord Nityananda Prabhu. So as I was meditating on what to speak on Lord Nityananda Prabhu, I saw the first slide that Yugal Kishore Prabhu had on the Sunday feast that he said somebody else will cover was Akaroda Paramananda Nityananda Rama, the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. That these two brothers, Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda Prabhu, are mercy personified. It is said in the beginning invocation prayers of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahauditau Gaudodashe Pushpamantau Chitrau Sandau Tamaunudau. These two brothers, Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda Prabhu, have come to remove in essence the darkness from this world and Pushpamantau to give benediction to everyone, one and all. And the Lord comes in many, many different incarnations, millennia after millennia. But this incarnation is so special. It is so special. Lochan Das Thakur says that Parama Karuna Pahudui Jana Nitai Gaura Chandra Sabha Avatara Sarashiromani Kevala Ananda Kanda. Of all the avatars that the Lord descends to establish religious principles, to remove darkness, and to attract the souls to go back home, back to Godhead. This is so special. It has never been seen before. It's the crest jewel of all incarnations. And Kevala Ananda Kanda is so joyous. And of these two, Lochan Das Thakur sings that Hena Avatara Zara, of all the avatars, the one who has taken birth as Lord Nityananda Prabhu, the one who has appeared as Nityananda Prabhu, there has never been an incarnation as merciful as this. And he says that which person is so sinful to have heard of the glories of Nityananda Prabhu, but still not have surrendered to him? That person remains in the cycle of birth and death. So this mercy of Lord Nityananda Prabhu is unmatchable in this world. So with that, I'll just recite a few verses of that song. Akaroda Paramananda Nityananda Ram Akaroda Paramananda Nityananda Ram Abhimana Shunya Nitai Nagare Bidhai Abhimana Shunya Nitai Nagare Bidhai Adhama Patita Jivera Dware Dware Gi Harinama mantra Vichena Hidaya Harinama mantra Vichena Hidaya. So here, Adhama Patita Jivera, the Lord who is the origin of all the spiritual and material worlds, Sri Nityananda Rama, who is the source of Sankarshana, the source of the Vishnus, who has created this whole spiritual manifestation, the material manifestation. He has descended to this abode, not in the higher planetary systems where pious people dwell, nor in this middle planetary systems where people are filled with devotion, but Adhama Patita Jivera, those most fallen people. And he has come in their lives and he is giving them the highest benediction which has never been given ever before. So this is the mercy of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. So with that, quickly we will describe Nityananda Prabhu's coming to Vrindavan Dham, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ascent, and the meeting of Lord Nityananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so they could kickstart this Sankirtan movement. So since most of this has been covered in the previous classes, we know that when Nityananda Prabhu descended on this earth about 550 years ago in the holy place of Ekachakra Dham, he was so beautiful. His body was like whitish gold, radiating effulgence. And whoever saw him, they could not take their eyes off Nityananda Prabhu. Their hearts would be filled with love of Godhead. And he would perform so many beautiful pastimes. The pastimes of the advent of Krishna, Krishna killing many demons, and Krishna leaving Mathura. And he, as Balaram and Ananga Manjari, he would feel that separation when Krishna left Vrindavan Dham to Mathura. When Akrura took Krishna away, when he was enacting these pastimes as a little kid, he would cry incessantly, and the devotees would think, wow, such ecstatic emotions. How is this possible in such a small boy? Ramena sadam mathura pranite shvapalkanamai anurakta chitta vighada bhava. With that mood of separation, he would enact many different pastimes. And as Prabhuji had described as Lakshman, when he was shot the Shakti Shila weapon by one of his friends who acted as Ravan, he did pretend, but he almost actually gave up his body when people saw that there was no life in his body, until Hanuman revived him. It is said that Krishna, when he was young, also would perform so many pastimes like this, where he would not sleep until Mother Yashoda would tell him the story. And Mother Yashoda would tell him, once upon a time there was a beautiful place, Ayodhya, and King Ram. And Krishna would say, And then he got married to the very beautiful Sita. And Krishna would go, And finally, there was this demon Ravan who came and he abducted Sita. And Krishna, as a little baby, would spring up and he would say, Lakshman, bring my arrow and my bow and let's go and charge to Lanka. Maya Yashoda would ask, I didn't come to that part. Who told you all of this? Did your friends give you a spoiler? Krishna said, no, Maya, these are my pastimes. And Mother Yashoda would say, these are not pastimes. You are just doing time pass. Go back to bed now and don't disturb me. And she would feed Krishna milk. So, like that, Nityananda Prabhu would reenact these pastimes. And he went all the way throughout the lengths and breadths of India. He got initiated, and then it's described that he met Madhavendra Puri. And when he met Madhavendra Puri, it's described how Madhavendra Puri, who was the seed of the love of God, of this tree of ecstatic love, fainted in ecstasy when he saw the love that Nityananda Prabhu emanated. Both these pure devotees embraced each other, and their tears of love that just anointed this Mother Earth, and Mother Earth was so pleased. Madhavendra Puri, he starts singing and glorifying Nityananda Prabhu. Madhavendra bale prema naide khun katha she mora sarva tirtha Hena Premayata. I have never seen such ecstatic love. Wherever there is such prema is my favorite holy place. Janilu Krishna Kripa Ache Mora Prati Nityananda Hena Bandhu Painu Samhati. Know for sure that Krishna has given his merciful glance on me because I have now got a friend in Nityananda Prabhu. ये से स्थाने यादि नित्यानंद संगहाया से sthana sarva tirtha vaikuntadi maya. This place where Nityananda Prabhu resides is more holy than all transcendental places. Nityananda hena bhakta shunile shravane ashvasya pahiba Krishna chandra se jane. Any devotee who hears the name Nityananda certainly attain the lotus feet of Krishna Chandra. And in this way, Madhavendra Prabhu glorified Nityananda Prabhu, and Nityananda Prabhu spent many days with him. And finally, he went to Shringarvat in Vrindavan, and he would wait for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's advent. And in Nadia, we know the story how the people of Nadia, although it was the high seat of learning, they were completely engrossed in materialistic activities, worshipping demigods, following many superstitions, full of hypocrisy. Even the Bhagavad readers were speaking without an inch or an ounce of bhakti. And when the devotees would sing and chant the holy names of the Lord, they would ask the devotees to stop chanting. Don't you know that Krishna is in your heart? Why do you need to wake up that Lord who would come and destroy this universe? You are spoiling our night's sleep. We have to get up in the morning, earn a lot of money, and enjoy sense gratification. And this was the mood of the people of Nadia. And all the great devotees headed by Mukunda, Murari Gupta, Srivas Thakur, his brothers, Shuklambar Brahmachari, all of them went to Kulia and pleaded for Advaitacharya to come and get Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to descend. And as Rasik Prabhu very beautifully described how Advaitacharya, Huhunkara, Garjanadi, he would roar the holy names of Lord Gauranga and cry Tulasi Dala Matrena. Janasya Chulukenava, Vikrinitam. Krishna will sell himself when a devotee with a bhaktebhyo, with devotional service, with love, pleads for the Lord to descend. And the Lord finally descended. And when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu descended, it's described that the moon of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu descended from Jai Gaurnitai ki Jai. From the ocean of the womb of Mother Sachi. And all these devotees were feeling so ecstatic in their heart, just knowing that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has descended. And we know the early pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where Mahaprabhu covered the bhava of Srimati Radharani, the ecstatic love and devotion he had invested in his heart, and was an arrogant, a scholar who would defeat others on the grounds of nyaya and on the grounds of grammar and verbal roots. But then when he met Ishwarapuri, his ecstatic love of God just emanated, and he became the best devotees that all the devotees were praying for. And now he was no longer that scholar who was just desiring to defeat others in grammar roots, but he would sing and chant and dance, and he would go to his friends, "Oh Gadadhar, you have been a devotee all your life, but I have wasted my life. I have spoiled my life in mundane pursuits. And now I have understood that the goal of life is Krishna. And now I am chanting the holy names of Krishna. And in Kanainata Shala, I had a darshan of Krishna. And now I have lost him. I can't find him anymore. Please give me Krishna. Tell me where is Krishna." And tears would flow from his eyes. His limbs would tremble and he would fall unconscious on the ground. And all the devotees were so pleased to see that Nimai Pandit was the best devotee and the crest jewel of all the devotees. And when Nityananda Ram understood that now is the time for the Lord to display and open up and distribute this treasure house of love of Godhead, he made his way to Nadia. It's described how beautiful he was, like millions of moons. His face was more beautiful than millions of moons. His teeth were like pearls. And the speech of Nityananda Ram was so pleasing that anybody would hear that. All the bondage in their heart would be cut just by his speech. And it was so loving, full of compassion. And he, dressed like a mendicant, but effulgent like the moon, came towards Nadia. And he had prasadam and stayed in the house of Nandanacharya. The same time, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told the devotees that a wonderful personality is going to arrive today. And he said, as a matter of fact, he has arrived. I had a dream that a wonderful effulgent personality came in a beautiful chariot, and he was having a plow and a stick and a pot in his hand, and he was asking, is this the house of Nimai? And when I said, yes, this is the house of Nimai, who are you? He said, I am your brother, and I will meet you very soon. Oh, Haridas, oh, Srivas, go and find this person, my brother. And both of them went to every house in Nadia, but they could not find Nityananda Prabhu until Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally took them to the house of Nandanacharya. It's described there that finding one's spiritual master is by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. When Krishna is pleased, only then will he guide us to the lotus feet of our spiritual master. And here Nityananda Prabhu is the fountainhead of all spiritual masters. The tattva of Guru is one. He, the Guru, represents himself and comes in different forms to different people, but Guru is one. And this was one of the first articles that Prabhupada published in his Back to Godhead magazines. And it's described that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally took them to show this principle. Just like there is a track of a train. Both go parallel together. Yasya deve para bhakti, yatha deve tata guru. The surrender to the Supreme Lord and the surrender to the words of one's spiritual master. Tasyate katayate prakashante mahatmanaha. Only through that can one attain the essence of all scriptures. So in this way, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first met Nityananda Prabhu was stunned seeing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was sitting in meditation like a million moons, so happy within himself. But when he saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he wanted to embrace the Lord with all his senses. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to display his great opulence to the devotees. And as the devotees explained, he asked Srivas to chant, Barha Pidam Natavarapu Karnayo Karnikaram Bhibritvasa Kanika Kapisham Vaidayantim Chamalam. When he described the beauty of Krishna, Nityananda Prabhu became mad in ecstasy. He started chanting and dancing and crying and falling on the ground unconscious. And the devotees saw that this amount of storehouse of love of God has never been seen ever before. And if you think about it, Chaitanya Charitamrita, if you think, okay, what is the story? Is there more of the story? Yes, there is some story, but the essence is this. It is just chanting. It is listening to the love of Krishna's glories through his prayers of the great scriptures and fainting in ecstasy and dancing. And when they're tired, they're honoring prasadam. This is all that is there in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Amrita, nectar. Chaitanya Charita, the life of that person, Chaitanya, of the living force in immortality, in the spiritual world, is full of just Amrita. It is only nectar. So when you hear Krishna Katha, when you chant the holy names of the Lord, it acts in two ways. For the conditioned soul, it acts as a medicine. Parasparanu Kathanam Pavanam Bhagavat Yashaha. Mitorati mitotushti. Pavanam, it purifies the heart. But the same Krishna Katha, when it is heard and discussed in the assembly of devotees who have that love invested in their hearts, Bodhayantascha parasparam, Katayantascha mam nityam, Tushyanti cha, Ramanti cha, they just enjoy this bliss of Krishna Katha. It is the same essence. When you look at the story of Pundrik Vidyanidhi and Gadadhar Pandit, when Mukunda chants, Aho Bakiyam Sthanakala Kutam Jigham Sayapayapya Sadvi. How merciful is Krishna that he delivered even the demoness Baka, Putana, Baki. He goes into ecstasy. Rupa Goswami would be just glorifying the holy names. Tunde Tandavane Rati Vitunate Tundavani Labdaye. How amazing is this holy name of Krishna that when I hear it, I desire millions of years. I desire millions of tongues. When Haridas Thakur hears this, Sloke Suna Haridasa Haila Ullasi Nachite Lagila Sloke Artha Prashamsi. He is just singing and dancing and praying. This is the life of the devotees in the books of Chaitanya Charitamrita. And that is why it is the postgraduate study of spiritual life, as Prabhupada described. So in this way, Nityananda Prabhu, it's described that he fainted in ecstasy on the lap of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the devotees who saw that, they were stunned. They were like, now Anantashesh, who is the resting bed of Vishwambar, is now resting on the lap of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Vishwambar. The roles have reversed. Just like Lakshmana is sleeping on the lap of Ramachandra, here is Nityananda Prabhu and the union of Gaur and Nitai who begin this Sankirtan movement. So, in interest of time, fast forwarding a couple things about the mercy of what Nityananda Prabhu actually gives us, and this beautiful drama, the play that we actually witnessed in Panihati Dham. I had the great fortune to actually stay in the house of Raghav Pandit overnight. And we had a bonfire kirtan on the house terrace of Raghav Pandit many years ago. And it was one of the most ecstatic experiences. There are 4 places that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was always present. And one of it is the house of Raghav Pandit, where Sachi Mata cooks, where Nityananda Prabhu dances, and Shiva Sangadi. And of that, the house of Raghav Pandit was so dear to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda Prabhu. They would come and use this as a hideout. When they were very hungry, they would come and order prasadam from Raghav Pandit. He was the same Dhanishta Sakhi, a very dear friend of Radharani, who would cook many nice preparations for Krishna. And after Krishna is honored by the order of Mother Yashoda, she would take the preparations to Radharani. And now that same Gopi has come as Raghav Pandit. And then his dear sister Damayanti Devi, even today there's that kitchen where Damayanti Devi would cook. And she would cook offerings all year. And then these offerings were taken to Jagannath Puri, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would relish these offerings every single day throughout his year. And here it is described that Nityananda Prabhu, as we saw, gave mercy to Raghunath Das Goswami. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted Raghunath Das Goswami only after Nityananda Prabhu showered his mercy. So one needs the mercy of the spiritual master to attain Krishna. Guru Krishna Prasadipaya. The Guru is given to the devotee by the mercy of the spiritual of Krishna, and that spiritual master takes us to the lotus feet of Krishna. Who are we if we get the audience of Krishna? It is actually not great to see Krishna. We are seeing Krishna face to face here. Hiranyakashipu saw Krishna. He didn't have a guru to ask him to tell the right question. His question was, "Oh Prahlad, where is your God?" Had he asked, "Where is my Lord?" probably that same Narasimha would have appeared, not through the stamba, but through the entrance, and embraced him. Here was Duryodhana, who didn't have a spiritual master to guide him to find the Lord. He was face to face with Krishna. He would actually see Krishna, even he saw the Virat Rupa of Krishna that Arjuna saw. But Kenepi devena hridastitena tata yuktosmi tata kurumbi. Whatever my heart is telling, I will follow that. I will not follow the words of my spiritual master. If Vidura gives him good advice, he banished Vidura. Heard abuses at Vidura. However, that same personalities who didn't even see the Supreme Lord, Shabari, heard from her spiritual master and had confidence that yes, the Supreme Lord will come to my doorstep, and she would prepare nice offerings every day. Rukmini would just hear about Krishna's glories. Shritva gunan bhuvana sundara shanvatamte nirvishya karna vivarair haratonga tapam. All the purification happened and she got ecstatic love of Krishna and fell in love with Krishna. You need to hear from that spiritual master that if I hear from him, I will be able to change my life. I will surrender 100% to my spiritual master. And this spiritual master is so wonderful. In the pastime of Nityananda Prabhu, it is described right after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas in Katwa. He cut the golden, the beautiful black locks of hair. The devotees were crying out, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the ecstasies of Srimati Radharani's love, started walking towards Vrindavan Dham. He would see so many young cowherd boys, and he would remember his beautiful pastime in Vrindavan. And he would ask them, chant, Hari, Hari, Hari. They would all chant the holy names of the Lord. He would put his hand on their head. And Lord Nityananda Prabhu, the Adi Guru, he is looking out for the devotees in Nadia, for Mother Sachi, who are in separation from the Lord. And he decided to trick Krishna, trick Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he went to these cowherd boys and he said, if Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asks which is the place, the direction of Vrindavan Dham, point them in this direction, back towards Nadia. And they said yes, they were so innocent. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, again in the ecstasy of Srimati Radharani, singing and dancing and walking back, and he saw the Ganga. And actually he saw Nityananda Prabhu. Oh Lord Nityananda, what are you doing here? Are you also going to Vrindavan? Nityananda Prabhu said, yes, my Lord. And what is this? This is Yamuna. And he jumped into the Yamuna and he saw Advaitacharya, what are you doing? I think people are tricking me. And Advaitacharya said, yes, you are coming back towards Nadia. Come in the boat, come back to my place in Shantipur. He said, you're all tricksters. And Advaita said, no. Wherever you are, that is Vrindavan. And the western bank of Ganga is the Yamuna anyway when it arises in Prayagraj. So we didn't lie to you. But here is Nityananda Prabhu ready to cheat even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for the sake of the devotees. So Krishna is so engrossed in his Leela. Rasika Shekhara Krishna Paramakaruna. But the spiritual master looks out for the devotees. We all have the holy names. We all have the deities. We all have these books. Why do we need a spiritual master? You have the laptop with everything, the hardware and the software, but you need the password to get in. And that is the mercy of the spiritual master. A spiritual master, right? Who is the representative of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. And actually here, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to the house of Advaitacharya, and Advaitacharya had made very nice offerings, and Mahaprabhu said, this is for the Lord, and Advaita said, no, this is for you, my Lord, please honor this prasadam. And Nityananda Prabhu was there, and he was like, what is this? The elaborate preparations. He said, this is like a morsel of grain for me. Give me more prasadam. I have walked so long. I have fasted for so long. Advaitacharya says, oh Nityananda, oh Avaduta, you can eat 400, 500 kilos of prasadam, but I am a poor Brahmana. Just be happy with what I have given you. I don't have anything more. And Lord Nityananda Prabhu starts honoring a little bit, and then he pushes it away. He said, what is this? You go up now for Prasadam Sunday feast and Nityananda Trayodashi feast, and you get little rice, rasam. You'll be like, I came for a feast also, Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu took that rice and he threw it at Advaitacharya. It hit the body of Advaitacharya and he started dancing in ecstasy, the Mahaprasad of Nityananda Prabhu. But then he chastised Nityananda Prabhu, what are you doing? You're a crazy person. What crazy people have I invited to my house? And Nityananda Prabhu saying, you're offending Mahaprasad. For this, you have to invite 100 sannyasis. And he said, I've invited one sannyasi like you. I will not invite any more in my life. So in this way, when the devotees are having a transcendental rasa collision, and it happens in our day-to-day lives when we see different devotees having different pastimes, we should take it as pastimes and not interfere. That is a lesson that Vrindavan Das Thakur says. It is a transcendental rasa collision. If you get in the middle and say, yes, this is right, he's my friend, no, that is wrong. And we all have invariably been in situations like this. Oh, I have read Nectar of Instruction. Dadati pratigrindati guhyam. Yes, I want to hear. What has happened? Then we get the offense and not those two devotees who are going through situations. Sometimes Mahaprabhu would be in the ecstasy, would be dancing and chanting. And he says, I am not feeling any ecstasy anymore. Is there someone here who is not supposed to be there? What has happened? Advaitacharya would say, oh my Lord, this crazy Nityananda Prabhu, you have given him a license to do anything he wants. Suno, Nityananda, Suno, Haridas, go all over and distribute. Do you know he has distributed to gardeners who don't know anything? The person who is making oil, like to completely unqualified people, he's distributing this mercy. You should stop him. He's emptying the pot, the treasure chest of love of Godhead. I think even you are not able to enjoy love of God because of this crazy person. And Nityananda Prabhu's mercy was so vast, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would close his ears and go away. But it is a transcendental rasa exchange. Sometimes Advaitacharya would be having a darshan of the Vishwaroop of the Supreme Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Nityananda Prabhu would know because he's the super soul. He's Shirodakshay Vishnu in the hearts of everyone. And he would come also to witness. And Advaitacharya would chastise him. This is my one-on-one time with the Lord. Why are you coming in between? So whenever devotees are having different interactions, we should respectfully take that in that manner, and if it's affecting us, we take it to the authorities. So, just a few lessons from the life of Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Chandra. And so, as these pastimes went on and on and on, we know that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would display unparalleled ecstasies in the dancing and chanting of the holy names in Srivasangan. And when he called Haridas Thakur, Nityananda Prabhu, to distribute this love of Godhead all over Nadia. Similarly, it's said in Detroit, the devotees back in the day, in the 70s, had a map of Detroit and Michigan. And this is Badrinarayan Maharaj. He shared some pastimes when I had interviewed him many years back. And many of these pastimes are very sweet. And he said how the devotees would go out on Sankirtan. And when the devotees would go out on Sankirtan, they would distribute popcorn as prasadam. And they were all called the popcorn men. Because the Detroiters didn't know anything more, but they were so happy that somebody would come and sing and dance and chant and distribute popcorn prasadam. And the devotees would basically scratch out every street on the map of Michigan and Detroit once they do Sankirtan on that specific road. And that way they had covered every street of Detroit at one point. It's a true story. And we used to have back in the day, this was called the Fearless Sankirtan Walk. And we would all come together and the devotee would organize this. And we were not supposed to have cell phones, no wallets. There is one gas station where we park our car. And then we would walk through the most dangerous streets of Detroit. And in some streets, on the road, on the houses, it would be written that if you ever touch my gate, I will shoot you down. And we would just walk through, we would chant and do japa and sometimes chant. And the people were so loving. Many of them would come and ask us. And then we would not even have books or bags or anything. Because if we have anything, then we're opening up or inviting unwanted people. But it was such a wonderful situation where the devotees would actually do this street to street, subdivision to subdivision, and cover this whole place. And one day I remember when I went to the downtown, one person pulled out a gun. And I said, Hare Krishna, and I just walked away. So, many situations, especially in Detroit, we get a little glimpse of what the situation was in Nadia with Jagai Madai. But we know all the stories of Jagai Madai. But the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu were so vast that Nityananda Prabhu would literally fall at the feet of all the devotees and the non-devotees and anybody he met. Some people would invite him, please come for lunch prasadam. Some people would say, oh, I will chant the holy names. Yes, yes. But others would say, we will report you to the king. Oh, you were the ones who didn't let us inside Srivas Angan to enjoy this wonderful ecstatic kirtans. Let's beat him up. Right? But still they would weather all of these because they knew that this was the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in this way, they would have these wonderful pastimes. And in interest of time, I will just end with one small realization that we just celebrated Advaita Acharya's Advaita Saptami, and today we're celebrating Nityananda Trayodashi. Right? And I was thinking the two excuses that we generally give in our spiritual lives, right, is that I don't have time. And I'm telling this to myself, right? We are all running out of time. I don't have time. I'm so busy with so many activities. Or I don't have that spiritual strength. Oh, that devotee is very potent. He has that spiritual mercy. I don't have it. Siddhanta speaking shastrically, Advaita Acharya is the Kala, expansion of the Lord. When Mahavishnu glances at Prakriti, that's Sadashiva potency, or Kala, Mahakal potency is Sadashiva. And Nityananda Prabhu is Balarama, Bala, the spiritual potency of the Lord. So when we pray to Lord Nityananda Prabhu to empower us so that we can follow the instructions of our spiritual masters, that we can go a little deeper in our spiritual lives, we can get a little sincere in our own practices. And Advaita Acharya to give us that time so that we can actually engage our lives in the service of the Lord, then we can make a lot of progress. For the ones who don't have a spiritual master, this is the day to pray at the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, to direct us in the right direction. And for those of us who have spiritual masters, to reaffirm that vow, to go deeper. And as Rasik Prabhu very beautifully described, and I was talking to Divya Prabhu, one of the very important highlights of the class was that he said, the last 10, 15, 20 years we have practiced bhakti. We have come only so far. But the mind says, no, you can do it in the next 5, 10 years without changing anything else that we are performing today or going deeper. And that is illusion. So how do we pray to the Lord to get deeper in our surrender to the spiritual master? With that prayer, I'd like to rest the glorification of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Prabhu ki jai. Mahaprasadam ki jai.
So, those two messages and then thank you very much. This is and today's blessing is done by Advaita Prabhu and we are here.